Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It's time to talk some Major League Baseball on a Tuesday. Action-packed episode, a deep card today. And as you guys know, we will hit the marquee games and then circle around and hit every single game on the board. And hopefully put some money in your pocket here with some best bets and bankers and also some firing on some fast food. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz for Purviance. We are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. And no need for introductions today. This card is deep, 30 minutes in and out to give you the best information possible. Let's get right to the numbers. 9:55, 9:56. Cincinnati and Washington. Maile on the mound versus Scherzer. 184 offshore now showing at Pinnacle. 200 here at FanDuel, New Jersey. 7.5 across the board. Are we trusting Cincinnati as a lively dog here? Or Max has it going on, Jason? No need to go against them.
Scherzer's been really, really great so far this season. Maile coming off one of his worst starts of the season, if not the worst start of his career, potentially. So I do like the Nationals here, minus 0.5 in the first 5. But just know that Maile, he has been better against lefties and righties. Righties 0.387, weighted OBA and ISO of 265. You look at that lineup, and yeah, there's like Turner and maybe Gomes in that Nationals lineup. So there's not much going there from the right side. More of lefties like Soto, Bell, and Schwarber with the power. He's been better against lefties, so be a little cautious there. But Scherzer, I don't really see him allowing too many runs in this one, if any. He's been really terrific, especially with the strikeouts as well. So Nationals minus 0.5 in the first 5. I do think they can get a run or two in the first 5, and it will likely be Turner that gets the job done.
Crazy when you take a look at these numbers here, Kyle. Max Scherzer this year, batting average against him a 181. Then we flip it over to an xFIP minus number of 75, which is very good. ERA 224. Even the advanced numbers, xFIP 3.08. And then how about this Sierra 2.73? Incredible work by Max Scherzer. One of those guys that it's tough to fade. Like, you could be a contrarian all you want, but hey, good luck with that, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. So when Max Scherzer's on the mound, you're like, okay, well, Washington's going to be favored, and you're not going to get a ton of value. So you got to get a little creative, right? And I guess it's not super creative. We talk about this all the time, but you're getting them minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 130. I think that's the only way you bet it here, unless you do a live betting spot later on the game, which is totally fine, and we encourage you to do at all times. But no, Molly, Fred Savage from Austin Powers. Come on, that's what Molly. The Washington lineup doesn't profile all that bad. I actually do like some of the bats here. Of course, Schwarber has homered twice off of him in his career, just for the, Josh Bell, better against righties than he is lefties. Of course, Soto, Trey Turner, better against lefties, but still very, very solid against righties. So I think Washington should be able to put up a run early. When you look at Scherzer's last 5 starts against Cincinnati, or his last 4, here's his fantasy points. And these are massive numbers, by the way, 76, 58, 58, 52. He should mow this lineup down. You should be looking at a scoreless Reds team going into the 5th inning. Washington, if they can get a run across, minus 130, minus 0.5 in the first 5 is a play for me.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense when you take a look at it. You do have some hitting weather here, which across Major League Baseball, some really good spots as well for the Nationals today. 76 degrees at first pitch, slight wind blowing out to left field. So it can buoy that. But again, if you're just looking to fade Max Scherzer, I don't know how many chances that actually works out well. Maybe you were getting a bonus because early in the season, so many injuries for the Nationals. But that lineup's starting to look better and better each day. We'll see how it turns on tonight for the Nationals and the Reds. Let's keep moving down the list as we go. Toronto and the New York Yankees, 963, 964. Matz, the lefty, will be on the mound for Toronto going up against Corey Kluber. 173 is a favorite here at Pinnacle. 172 here in New Jersey. 9s across the board. As we take a look at this one, Kluber, as you know, hey, maybe it's a rebuild year for this guy. Maybe he's back to being that Cy Young capable pitcher, and that's going to be a boost to the Yankees once they get their offense underway here. Jason, we'll start with you first. Toronto and New York, two capable. Look, I love Toronto's lineup. They're hitting right now. We're waiting on the Yankees to get back in the hitting mood, but Kluber has been pretty good this year.
Yeah, look, Matz is going to get the start for the Blue Jays, and he's a lefty pitcher going up against the Yankees, who have tons of righties in the lineup. And what's the thing that Matz does the most? Lets up home runs. Where is he going to be pitching? Yankee Stadium. So I do like the over in this game. I think Matz will let up a couple runs here or early in the game, and probably it could be a lot, just knowing him. But
of course.
Also you have Kluber, who's also been kind of worse against righties this year. 316 weighted OBA and ISO of 154. Again, the Blue Jays all righties in the lineup. I do think that obviously, like you said, a lot of great hitting conditions. I think over 9.5 is a good look here. It's a little high for my liking. I'm not taking it personally, but I do like the over 9.5 and think that both teams have a chance to get 5 runs. We just saw the Blue Jays bullpen implode, and they're not going to have much going for them going to this Yankees series. So over 9.5 looks like the best play here.
It should be interesting because when you take a look at the lineups here, we have some big names out there. But if we're looking from a right-handed pitching perspective, which obviously Kluber has here, Kyle, the lineup this year for Toronto, outside of Simeon, Bichette, and Guerrero, 1, 2, 3, a lot to be left to be desired. And then we take a look at the New York Yankees, still waiting for them to come around hitting because theoretically against lefties today, they only have 2 batters, Aaron Judge and Kyle Higashioka, that are actually above weighted on base averages here. I should say above average in Major League Baseball with weighted on base average. So they should hit. I understand. We do have some decent hitting weather here, but we'll see how it goes in the Bronx. What are you looking at tonight in this game?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So there's just a lot to be nervous about in this one, right? When you look at it, you're like, look, I like the home run prop for Judge. I think he very well could go yard tonight, hitting weather. You're nervous about Kluber coming off that performance in his last start. You're like, how is this going to work out? When you look at the 3-year weighted averages, every batter in Toronto's lineup actually has some sort of slight advantage. Now, there's some righties in there that stink against righties. Grichuk stands out, of course, and et cetera. This should be the Yankees. It's tough to take a -170 on the money line in the first 5. You can get a -0.5 at -120. Do you trust them to score in the first 5 innings? I think we know well enough this year that that's not something they do, right? We kind of sit on the Yankees and live bet them at the end, and Donnie has been he's been the Lewis and Clark of that, if you will. He's sort of scored out the Oregon Trail and showed us the path to betting on the Yankees live. And I think that's what you want to do with this one. All my numbers say to me, this should be the Yankees. It should be the Yankees first 5. If I was, this is the only game I can watch, or I was just had to bet on this one, it would be Yankees -0.5 in the first 5. But it makes you nervous. There's just a lot of these things here. Matz is terrible. He should get smashed. I do think there's a little bit of value on that Aaron Judge home run prop.
It's interesting you say that last night because I usually bet live in-game totals when I can get a runner on first base. Those bastard Mets yesterday, but hitting solo home runs, never even gave me the chance to get in because they had a 1.5 of a run as they got later in that game, which obviously they scored a couple runs, almost tied it up in the 9th inning. But just about every single night, you're going to get opportunities to bet a 1 with 9 outs to go and a man on second base. It's wonderful to watch it play out. I missed on it twice because I need runners on base before I actually step into the plays. Sure. But those Mets, every time I tried to line up those Mets last night, Jason, they hit a solo home run. And this really was pissing me off at the end. But it is what it is. Didn't lose any money, but I wanted to win money. But, hey, it just never surfaced itself on those edges. 975, 976, 710 first pitch tonight here in Boston. Morton versus Richards. 9.5 is a total. Now flips over to 10 across most outlets here. Slight favorite at Pinnacle Offshore, -111 to the Atlanta Braves, but everywhere else, -110s, -105. So roughly a pick 'em here. Pretty good game to talk about between these two lineups. When we're looking at both of these, I wish the pitchers were a little bit different because these lineups are getting hot, particularly with the Atlanta Braves. But Richards has been decent lately here. Are we looking at runs? Because you need 11 to cash here, Jason.
And the weather is going to be great for runs as well. But look, Richards has been a lot better, like you said, in the last 30 days or so. Obviously started the season really poorly, but has now turned it around just a bit. So I do think that the Red Sox have the advantage here. I even saw +105 earlier in the day. Looks like that's changed now to more of a pick-em, but I still think the Red Sox have a little bit more of an advantage here going up against Morton, who has not been nearly as good. I don't know if Donnie remembers this, but Morton couldn't get through the Phillies lineup in the first inning. None of those were earned runs, but still out 6 runs, and that still falls on his shoulders at the end of the day. So I do like the Red Sox here. I think they'll get the job done with Richards, who's been a lot better than Morton in the last couple of weeks.
It's interesting, too, because you look at it here, and you do have the American League ballpark, so no pitchers are going to bat here, Kyle. Looking at the lineup, particularly from an Atlanta perspective going against righties, only 2 batters with an ISO power number below average in Major League Baseball, and a lot of walks in this lineup where they're facing right-handed batters. But then you flip it over to Boston side, almost equally as good. ISO power numbers all elevated versus righties. Something has to give tonight. What are we looking at, Kyle?
Yeah, and I agree with Jason. Runs should be scored here, right? And I do think Richards has looked better than Morton. Yeah, I have a slight sprinkle. When I look at this Reds lineup, look, Acuna, Albies, The power in this lineup, very good against righties. And then, oh yeah, we get to throw in Freddie Freeman. Anytime I get to throw in Freddie Freeman as like a bonus advantage with the other guys, I sort of sprinkle on that team total. I think both teams' team total is actually alive in this one. They're both at 4.5. They're both around this minus 115, 125 number. Both teams should be able to hit. I do slightly favor the Red Sox because, again, I do think Richards right now just a little bit better than Morton. Morton's been sort of up and down, slightly into the Red Sox, and a little sprinkle on those team totals. Maybe the Braves for a value menu wager over 4.5 at minus 125. Anytime I can get those advantages against the right, even though I do think Richards has been better, and add in Freddie Freeman, it gives me a slight lean that way. So a little sprinkle for value menu on that Braves team total, but I do think this game plays to an over.
Interesting stuff here. And talking about value menu wagers, let's bring some of these up and see where the value is on the card. A little bit of fast food action we can roll into. Yesterday, I went with the Baltimore Orioles team total over 4.5. I believe it was like minus 102. That one fell short. Should have been. I mean, 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. I watched that game as it progressed all the way up until the rain delay. I thought the Baltimore Orioles had a leadoff double every single inning and somehow couldn't cash in damn near any of those runs. It does happen, but there are some value on the card tonight. Jason, we'll start with you first. Where's the value for you tonight?
Yeah, like we'll go back to that game. Over 9.5 for the Orioles Twins. Mm-hmm. Great hitting weather, of course, in that game as well. Just want to make sure Hayes is back in the lineup for the Orioles going against Purviance. I love this matchup. Purviance right now, if you look against the lefties, 406 weighted OBA, ISO of 265. He's been so bad against lefties. You have Mullins, you have Galvis, you have Santander, you have Stewart, you have Wilkerson, and probably Hayes will play there instead of Wilkerson. But either way, I mean, there's so many lefties in the lineup that can do damage versus Purviance. And then you also have Kramer. This guy, he's you could just smack him. And the Twins should do that. We'll see their lineup as well. I know there's a couple guys that are questionable there as well. But if everyone is in the lineup as they're supposed to be, over 9.5, I think both teams can get to 5. I think there's a lot of value there for sure.
Yeah, I got a couple bangers here on this card. We'll go first here, Kyle, with you on your value menu wagers here. What are you looking at tonight?
Well, I'm going to take our special Nerfy here. Everyone loves a Nerfy, and we're going to go right back to this Padres-Brewers series. Burns and, Musgrove. I think they can both get out of the first inning there, so I like a no-runs first inning in that Padres-Brewers game. I'm going to take a little sprinkle on that Braves team total over 4.5 minus 125. I think they can get to 5 runs tonight. And my home run prop, I've got 2 of them. I like Aaron Judge tonight off of Matt's and off of our favorite boy, Scubal, who we're going to talk about a little bit later. I think Jose Ramirez can go yard as well.
Our good friend Tariq Scubal, definitely on the line. Always, when you look at that, it's one of those games where you flip right over and say, how can I make some money off of fading this kid? I'm going to give a value menu wager here, and I'm going to go to the worst hitting environment in Major League Baseball. That's down in Tampa Bay, but I do think they are some value plays here for the Tampa Bay Rays. Going up against Keller, who has an xFIP of 4.90 this year, but also more importantly, 6.52 ERA, 4.52 xFIP, 4.72 Sierra number. We should be able to get some base hits here, and also the Tampa Bay lineup that looks a little bit more daunting as it did about a month ago. Rosarania, 353 weighted on base average. Meadows, 379. Low left. Lau stays. How about that, Kyle? Remember that one? 389?
Yeah. Well,
371, 421.
I'll forget it before the next show. You know I will. Okay. I always do.
That's okay. Well, each and every time out there. But I'm going to take 4.5 here for the Tampa Bay Rays. It looks like two outlets you can get it at minus 110 here at BetMGM, minus 118 with the 4.5 number at the FanDuel Sportsbook. They should be able to get 5 runs tonight, and I do think it's value. If this game was played outdoors somewhere in a real baseball stadium, probably would be able to upgrade it to a best bet. But since we're playing in the worst hitting environment in the history of Major League Baseball, just going to be a value menu wager for us. Let's keep it moving here. Best bets on the Major League Baseball card. Jason, take it away. What do we got?
Yeah, I'm on the Indians, minus 135 for the full game. The Indians, like we were just talking about, they're going up against Scubal. Scubal 1-6 on the year in 7 starts so far. He's been hit hard. xFIP of 6.03, walking 11%, striking out just 23%. Weighted OBA of 370 to lefties and 385 to righties. ISO really high against righties as well. So yeah, he's really struggled. And like Kyle said, you have Ramirez, who's a big threat, and really the entire lineup is a big threat going up against Scubal. Even Ahmed Rosario's looked pretty good recently. You have the other Ramirez, Harold Ramirez that can do damage in terms of hitting the ball, and Rosario can do as well. So there's a lot of damage that you can do there with the Indians lineup against Skubal, and of course the bullpen of the Tigers, the worst in the league as well. Savali, on the other hand, for the Indians, he's been giving you quality after quality. Not the most flashy pitcher, but gets the job done even with balls in play. So the Tigers, they usually strike out a ton, maybe not striking out as much as usually, but they'll just kind of be weak balls, and we'll get that job done there. So the Indians, minus 135 in the full game for that bet. And then lastly, we're going to go to the Cardinals, plus 0.5 in the first 5. Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Cardinals, 8-0 in 9 starts. So really 8-0 in his last 8 starts. He's been giving you quality after quality after quality. 7 of his last 8 starts have been quality starts as well, going up against Lucas Giolito, who has now struggled against righties a pretty solid amount this year. And you look at this lineup, for the Cardinals, they have a lot of righties in the middle of the lineup, like Arenado, Goldschmidt, Molina, who hit righties pretty well for power and have done in the last 30 days. And also, Giolito is walking in the last 30 days, 18% of batters from the left side. If you look at the lineup, you have Edman, Carlson, Carpenter, and Williams, all from the left side, either strike out less or walk more. So those guys get on base, and those 3 bats I just spoke about in Goldschmidt, Arenado, and Molina can definitely do damage and score those runners. And again, Flaherty's been quality after quality, and the White Sox lineup has not been doing well at all so far this season against righties. So we're going to go with the Cardinals, plus 0.5 in the first 5, and even if it's a tie, the Cardinals get the win at plus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 125.
Go give those plays to the weed whacker over there, Jason, so we can help him out. Maybe buy him a cooler.
I love it that it's not my fault this time. I fucking love it when it's not my fault. Thank God. Oh, it makes me feel
Actually,
good.
you should have just blamed it on Kyle the whole time.
You should have, because I would have thought it's
Best
me,
bets.
but I don't know. Wait, that's not me. I don't know. I don't know. God damn.
What you got tonight, man? Best bets.
So I love the Indians first 5 as well. I'm on the Indians just like Jason is. I am going to take some little plus money here because I think they can score in the first 5 innings. And look, we always like to say, hey, when you bet the Tigers, just do it full game because their bullpen is absolutely atrocious. But it's just a little more atrocious than that bullpen, Tariq Skubal. So I will go ahead and say that the Indians get it done in the first 5 innings, minus 0.5 at plus 105. So if I'm getting plus money to bet against Skubal and the Tigers, guess what? I'm going to take it. Again, I talked about that lineup. I do like Hernandez. I like Ramirez, Naquin. I like the Cleveland lineup tonight. I do think they can get there, so I like them. Minus 0.5 in the first 5, plus 105. And my other one, I'm going to go to my Giants, who I haven't bet on in the last couple of days. Kevin Gausman against Martin on the mound. I don't know a whole lot about Martin, but what I do know is he sucks. And so I will take Gausman in the first 5, minus 0.5 at minus 130. When I look at this Giants lineup, we've got 5 hitters with 65% advantages or better. The Giants should be able to get it done in the first 5 today with Gausman on the mound. So give me Giants first 5, minus 0.5, and the Indians minus 0.5 in the first 5 as well.
All right, I got 2 best bets that I'm looking at right now. Definitely I'm going to have 3 plays on my card today. Just a matter of which one is actually going to be my best bet and banker. There are 2 of them right now that are coming up, and that's going to be the Cubs team total over 4.5, minus 108 at FanDuel. They should be able to light Ponce up. Ponce has been terrible in AAA this year, was terrible in Major League Baseball last year, hasn't pitched well since AA. Should be able to get 4.5 runs, actually 5 runs or more for the Cubs to cash that total. Also keep in mind in Pittsburgh today, 85 degrees at first pitch, so you are getting some hitting weather in that pitcher's ballpark. The second one, which is the game I like the best, is the Minnesota Twins. Also looking at 83 degrees in Minnesota today at Target Field. Wind blowing dead out anywhere between 10 to 15 miles an hour for the remainder of the evening. That should work out well going against Creamer on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles and that terrible bullpen. That number sets up at 4.5, minus 155, sitting at BetMGM, or if you don't want to pay the juice there, 5.5 plus 105 also at BetMGM. I always agree with buying the runs down because you'll see a difference over the season. It's not like getting 3.5 in the NFL and buying a half point. Runs are at a premium in Major League Baseball. So anytime you can win at 5 as opposed to lose at 5, that's a big difference here towards your banker all the way. Those are the 2 games I'm looking at. So obviously follow me on Twitter. I will be playing all 3, but depending on Minnesota's lineup, which is what I'm waiting for, a couple of guys are questionable in the lineup today. If they show a full go lineup tonight, the Twins are going to be able to hammer and get at least 6 runs, I believe, tonight on their total. And as well as the Cubs should be able to get 5 off Ponce in that that bad bullpen for the Pittsburgh Pirates. But the best part about both of these games, hitting weather in both environments with a full go lineup on both of those, they both should cash. Well, I'll be in play for 3 games. Just follow me on Twitter when we upgrade it. But Minnesota is the one we're looking at right now. If we get a good lineup, that's going to be my play of the day, and we'll certainly be able to cash that in and continue our winning ways. Let's go on the odds lightning round around Major League Baseball. Big card today, so why don't we kick it off and get started? Jason, started with you first. Game I'm just talking about here. Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates, Arrieta versus Ponce. Arrieta hasn't been a great pitcher this year. He's minus 142 to minus 145, depending on where you're shopping, at a total of 9 across the board. Hard for me to back Arrieta, but then again, as I look, who's hitting for Pittsburgh? It would be Chicago or nothing. This is the reason why I stay away from sides, because I think Chicago's going to hit. I hope Arrieta pitches well.
Look, and we don't know too much about Ponce, but even going back into AAA, really, he has a 5.4 ERA, really walking 7.5% of batters, striking out just 21% of AAA batters as well. So really not too high on Ponce, and do think the Cubs can score some runs in this game. So I would lean towards the Cubs, but if it were up to me, I would select other games where you have some reliable information instead of looking at AAA stats, because that just doesn't translate into the MLB.
Looking at yesterday's game, the Philadelphia Phillies didn't like them yesterday. Don't like them again today. Alcantara's on the mound. He's a better pitcher than Velasquez. Miami's lineup is better than the Philadelphia Phillies. Don't let that whitewashing, of the Marlins early. Oh, but the Phillies got 6 runs. They came back. No, the Phillies got blown out in that game. They'll probably get blown out again tonight. Minus 125 to minus 134 seems cheap to me. For me, Kyle, give me the Marlins tonight. What are you looking at?
100% agree. And can I just compliment Donnie on the cojones? You know how gutsy it is to take a team total over 5.5? My goodness, that takes balls of steel. I feel like they're getting there tonight. Congratulations to my co-host to our host Philip Rivers on nailing that. No, I'm with you. First of all, I always love to fade Vinny Velasquez. You know that. Sandy Alcantara, our boy, up, down, left, right, BA select start. They're minus 0.5 plus 100 in the first 5. I do think the Marlins can jump on Velasquez. I like some of the advantages in the lineup for Miami. Let me just go ahead and pull that up. Look, we've got, you don't see it a lot with Miami. They're one of those lineups that's always at a disadvantage, it seems, when you weigh in 3-year numbers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 advantages today. Keep an eye on Aguilar, 3 of 5 lifetime with a home run off of Velasquez. I like the Marlins here. I like them full game, and I like them first 5 minus half a run at plus 100. Give me that plus money.
Welcome back, Mr. DeGrom here, going against Freeland, the lefty today. The Mets sitting there at a stellar 241 with absolutely nobody but T-ball hitters in their lineup. Good luck back in DeGrom tonight, and a lot of runs for the Mets. Jason, what are we looking at?
Well, I would assume that both starters don't go too deep in this game. So now you're going bullpen versus bullpen at the end of the day. For probably half of the game. I know the Mets probably don't want to get DeGrom injured again because they've had enough guys injured. And Freeland, this will be his first start in 2021. So you're really looking at 2020 stats right now, and probably doesn't go too deep in the first place either. So I do like the Mets here, but I'm not paying that price. So I would stay away from that game. I do think the Mets end up winning the game. Maybe you can look at it live. I think that's more of a live play for the Mets there.
All right, let's get a little preview of this game tonight. 5th inning. Mets will have a team total about 1.5 at plus money. The next inning, it'll dip to 1, and you'll be able to jump in. Why would you ever play a Mets team total before the game starts is beyond me, because it's massive value as you wait and wait and wait. Savali versus Skubal, Cleveland and Detroit. Your quick thoughts, minus 142 is a favorite towards Cleveland. Always hard to bet the young kid. I always look at Skubal's numbers here because his MO coming up, Kyle, was he was a wizard strikeout pitcher in the minors. Hasn't translated at all, man.
Yeah, no, he's a wizard at sucking at pitching the baseball. He's absolutely dreadful. I mean, I don't know. Like, look, and look, this has happened to me before. I've bagged on a WNBA player, and her aunt threatened to beat me up in Dallas. So if I ever meet Skubal's family, they're probably going to punch me right in my punchable
No, but
face.
you got to. These are the guys we like, though, because they give up runs and we bet over. So I love the kid.
I love this man. Every time I see him, I get to find a way. Look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Cleveland batters with a 29% advantage or better in terms of weighted OPS over the last 3 years. I mentioned earlier that I like the Ramirez prop. Of course, it's my play of the day, minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 105. Indians are bust. And look, if you don't want to take that minus 0.5 in the first 5, you can take them full game. You're still getting a cheap number on that, as Jason touched on, minus 135. Don't forget, even if Skubal somehow pitches well, which is probably not going to happen, you still get the Tigers bullpen. So just keep your eyes on Cleveland tonight. I think all of the lines are too short on them. Yeah, give me the Indians tonight.
All right, keep going here. Kansas City and Tampa Bay, 967, 968. Keller's on the mound versus the crafty lefty, Rich Hill. How about this? Pinnacle opened up at a 161, Jason. Now sits at over $2. And even at FanDuel, New Jersey, here, minus 220. A hefty price to pay for Rich Hill. But I got to tell you, if you're just rolling your money over on Tampa Bay, it's working really well. This team is red hot, and I think they hit tonight. What are you thinking in this game?
I agree. Look, Hill's been fantastic. It's a resurgence of some of these oldies looking really good right now. Yeah, Hill's been really good. And I don't see how that stops against the Royals. Their offense has not been that great outside of like Merrifield and maybe you have Santana who can do some damage as well. But for the most part, yeah, Hill's been really good. He is walking some lefties, so maybe Benintendi and Lopez could maybe get on with a walk or two. But for the most part, the Rays offense profiles really well against Keller. Really, any offense does. And the Rays have been really hot. They're scoring a ton of runs, and they look really good. They look like a championship contender right now. They want to be in that World Series again, and they're playing like it. So I do agree with the Rays minus 0.5 in the first 5. Mm-hmm. Like Kyle says, that's really the only way you'll find value taking that first 5 for the Rays, especially when it goes from minus like 160 to like minus 200 with Hill on the mound.
I'm going to read you the stat line here, Kyle. Ready for this one? This pitcher is a 159 batting average against him, a .62 whip. His xFIP minus is a 30. I don't even know how it's comprehensible. Like I have to look at like 4 or 5 different ways here because he's 9 points below Jacob deGrom, which he's ridiculous. The ERA is 1.79. The FIP is 0.084. The xFIP 1.36 and a Sierra of 1.47. The numbers I'm reading you here are Corbin Burns, which means you come up to the plate, you take your 3 pitches, and you sit down in the dugout, and you hope he gets super tired by the 7th inning. Good luck tonight, because this number that we're looking at between San Diego and Milwaukee is 6.5, and deservedly so, because you know why? Musgrove has been insane as well.
Exactly, and I wish you'd have let me guess so I could have looked smart, because I was going to guess Burns. Like, what the hell just happened here?
I thought you were going to guess, maybe a Philadelphia Phillies pitcher.
Yeah, and I saw in the chat box someone says, so they've been watching since NFL season. They know when I bag on a guy, they play the game of their life. So someone says, here comes the Skubal no-hitter. Oh. If Tariq, I'm going to make this right here. This is official right here on this show. If Tariq Skubal goes out tonight and throws a no-hitter, I swear to fucking God, I will get a tramp stamp of his face right on my lower back if he does that tonight. I swear to you on my life. If Tariq Skubal, it will be on the show. My white ass cheeks will be in this camera while you're looking at my tramp stamp from Tariq Skubal. No, this game has under written all over it. I like the no runs first inning in this Padres Brewers. Jesus Christ, Skubal, you better not throw a no hitter tonight, you son of a bitch. This has come back to bite me in the past, but no, this is going to be a low scoring game. I say under 7. I don't like taking a bunch of unders, but I'm going to channel my inner Chelsea Messenger here and take the under 7 in this game. I like the no runs first inning in this game as well. No interest in any of the bats. If you want to do a one-off in daily on DraftKings, Tatis is always good for something. The guy's been an absolute monster lately. Other than that, low-scoring game. I'm taking the under and no runs first inning.
All right, we'll skip over the Baltimore-Minnesota game because I think we all know where we're all going in that one. We'll talk a little Dodgers and Houston Astros here, Jason. Opening number, roughly a minus 130 to minus 125 is a favorite towards the Dodgers. That number has now shifted back and forth. Bad blood between these two. 8.5 is a total. Any looks or any leans on this one, Jason?
This is a fun one. Kershaw versus Greinke. It's a classic for sure. Both offenses look like they're pretty good against their opposing pitchers, but also the pitchers have been pretty good as well. Greinke a little bit worse, obviously. So I would lean towards Kershaw and the Dodgers at minus 120. How many times do you get the Dodgers at this low price? We said that last time with Bauer on the mound against someone else, and the Dodgers ended up winning. So, yeah, I mean, if you get the price of the Dodgers at around minus 120, I think it's a no-brainer that you have to hit that, especially against Greinke, who hasn't looked nearly as good as he has in the past.
Talked a little bit earlier about St. Louis and the Chicago White Sox, so we'll skip that one briefly here. But how about this one? 971, 972 for you, Kyle. and is Hyung Jong Yang. If you don't know who that pitcher is for the Texas Rangers, he is one half of the rapper duo Yin Yang Twins going up versus Heaney. 148 is a favorite. Hey, that's the best I could do with this guy. I don't know much about him here, but it doesn't look like his numbers stack up all that well tonight. But then again, when you look at the Angels lineup, it's like, damn, I thought this lineup would be much better than this, Kyle.
Yeah, I agree. And someone in the chat box is right. Didn't I bash that Kalanick guy yesterday and made fun of him? And he goes out and hits a fucking home run. So, Jesus, I might have a tramp stamp tomorrow. That shit's going to suck. I lean the Angels here. Heaney hasn't looked great recently. And I'll be honest, I don't know much about this kid on the other side here for the Rangers. But I will say the righties, even without Trout, if Trout isn't there for the Angels, should be able to get this done there. For Christ's sake. Yeah, he's out there fishing, but we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Angels with advantages of 28% or more. They should get it done. I like them in the first 5. You can take the money line minus 165, which is a little too steamed up for me. Minus 0.5, minus 110 is what I want here for the Angels. Haven't been impressed with Heaney, but the lineup profile's better. Give me the Angels in this one.
All right, we'll talk about this last game here on the card. Skip over the San Francisco-Arizona game. Gausman versus Corbin Martin. Not really a big interest, but this one's interesting to me. Seattle and Oakland. Gilbert's on the mound, who's not a great pitcher so far in his early Major League Baseball career, going up against Cole Irvin, which I always have an issue with. 169s up to 178s here in New Jersey as a favorite for Oakland. Is Oakland the better team? Yes. We'll see what Cole Irvin gives you. Could Seattle be sneaky here, Jason? An 8.5, any runs on the board? Let me just take a look at the quick weather conditions out here. Oh, yeah, typical. 56 degrees with a 10-mile-an-hour wind blowing dead out. So you get what you get each and every time. Quick thoughts on this Seattle-Oakland game.
Yeah, like people in the chat are saying, Oakland burned us yesterday. Montez had 11 strikeouts in that game, still allowed 4 runs in that game, and that was all she wrote. But Irvin, if you look at his stats, earlier in the season, he was striking out a ton of batters. Now, not so many, but if he's able to strike out the Mariners' bats, he should have a solid day. So, yeah, I do like the Athletics here. I think their offense should hit Gilbert, who hasn't looked great to start his MLB career. Things will get better for him. I'm just not sure it'll happen yet or even this season. So I do like the A's minus 0.5 in the first 5. But yeah, they burned us yesterday, and people aren't going to forget that.
Yeah. There you go. So
can I just touch on Cole Irvin real fast, just real quick for DraftKings? He's 6,700 on DraftKings. That's too cheap for a lefty going against this Mariners lineup. If you're looking for value, that's the way to go.
There you go. So we'll wrap it up here with clearing around the bases. And what we'll do here, as we usually do, is give us our wagers both on the value menu wager and also your best bets and bankers. We'll start with you first, Jason. Go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, we're going to be on the Indians minus 135 in the full game, and we're also going to be on the Cardinals plus 0.5 in the first 5, and a little value play. I forget what I gave out, but I do like the Red Sox, and I do like the over 9.5 for the Orioles and Twins game. Both those I think have lots of value in those plays. So again, over 9.5 and the Red Sox plus 105 is value, and then Cardinals plus 0.5 in the first 5, and the Indians minus 135 in the full game. My official
Kyle,
plays.
wrap it up, B. Wrap it up, B. What's your plays?
I'm glad Jason forgets too, because I always forget when we get to this. I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember what I picked. No, I like the Indians minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 105. I think that's a nice plus money spot today. Also like the Giants minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 130 with Gausman on the mound. Our value plays, I like the no-run first inning in that Milwaukee Padres game. A little sprinkle on that Braves team total over 4.5. Home run props, Jose Ramirez, Aaron Judge. Let's go. Good luck today, everyone.
And also my best bets and bankers along with the value plays. I'm going to go Tampa Bay. These are all 4.5. Tampa Bay is going to be a value play. Team total over 4.5. And then as we take a look at the Chicago Cubs, going over 4.5 as a team total for them at the FanDuel Sportsbook at minus 108. And then I'm waiting on that Minnesota lineup. I'll be playing Minnesota regardless, but whether or not it's going to be an upgraded play of the day or not leaves it up to that lineup that comes out. And that is a 4.5 minus 155. But again, if you don't want to pay that juice, 5.5 plus 105s are out there. But I do recommend it if you have the ability to use BetMGM to use that and get that 4.5, because I do believe Minnesota's going to get 5+ runs tonight and cash that ticket in. So some big doings. And as the show ends now live, look, follow us on Twitter, below my name, below Jason's name, below Kyle's name. Get to know those, because when some things come up live or also where I'm going to confirm a play of the day wager, you want to make sure you get it, jump on it, and cash that ticket in with us. Also, if you want to be a better Major League Baseball gambler, look below right there, SPRpicks.com/MLB. Click that link to get all the videos and the latest write-ups. Again, designed to put more money in your pocket. What a Tuesday. But guess what? We'll be back again on Wednesday talking Major League Baseball right here on the show. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz for Kyle Purviance. We are SportsBookReview.com, and this was your Major League Baseball show for Tuesday. Good luck on those wagers tonight.